Every survivalist today talks about ultralight tarps, space blankets, polymer sheets, and reflective foils. They compare weights down to the gram, debate coatings, and argue over tensile strength charts. Modern outdoor culture is obsessed with optimization, lighter, thinner, faster. But in that race toward efficiency, something important has been forgotten. There is a piece of World War II field equipment's simple, heavy, almost crude by modern standards, that quietly outperforms many high-tech tarps in durability, adaptability, and real-world survival use. It doesn't look impressive on a gear spreadsheet. It doesn't pack down to the size of a soda can. But soldiers trusted their lives to it, across continents, climates, and years of continuous use. And today, modern bushcrafters, reenactors, and long-term survival planners are rediscovering why. For the next few minutes, stay with me, because the story of this fabric reveals how a generation living under the harshest wartime conditions solved problems we're still struggling with today. And this isn't about nostalgia. It's about a tool that still works often better than what's sold in outdoor stores right now. The secret lies in the World War II shelter half. At first glance, a shelter half looks unimpressive. It's a rectangle of treated canvas, reinforced along the edges, fitted with buttons or grommets. Two soldiers could button their halves together to form a tent. One could use it as a ground sheet, poncho, windbreak, or fire shelter. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't light, but it was brutally practical. What made it special wasn't just the canvas itself, it was the philosophy behind it. World War II military gear was not designed to be replaced quickly. It was designed to be repaired over and over by the person using it. Supply lines were fragile. Replacements were uncertain. Soldiers were expected to keep equipment alive under constant stress. Modern gear assumes resupply. Wartime gear assumed isolation. That difference changes everything. Modern synthetic tarps are incredibly light, but they fail in specific ways. When they tear, the rip often spreads rapidly. Heat damage is permanent. Spark holes multiply. UV exposure weakens fibers invisibly. Repair usually requires tape, specialized adhesives, or factory-level seam sealing. Canvas behaves differently. A tear in canvas tends to stop. Fibers swell when wet, tightening the weave. Damage is visible and predictable. Most importantly, it can be repaired in the field using basic tools, a needle, thread, and wax. World War II shelter halves were treated with waxes and oils that penetrated the fibers rather than coating the surface. That meant waterproofing didn't flake or peel away. It aged into the fabric instead of sitting on top of it. When soldiers repaired a shelter half, the repair didn't weaken the material. It strengthened it. This created a mindset that modern survival culture has largely lost. A canvas tarp with 10 years of patches is often stronger than a brand new synthetic tarp that's never seen real use. Each repair reinforces stress points. Each scar tells you where the fabric has already survived. Nothing about this is accidental. If you want to apply this principle today, the solution isn't to abandon modern materials. It's to add one missing piece to your kit, a waxed canvas sheet or oilskin tarp, not as a replacement. As a companion, canvas excels where synthetics struggle. It resists sparks. It breathes, reducing condensation. It handles abrasion against rock, dirt, and wood. It tolerates prolonged UV exposure. And when it fails slowly and visibly. This makes it ideal for base camps, off-grid shelters, seasonal setups, and long-term survival locations, places where weight matters less than reliability. In World War II, soldiers often lived under their shelter halves for weeks or months at a time. They cooked beside them, slept on them, wrapped themselves in them during rain and snow. Canvas didn't melt near fire, it didn't crack in cold. It didn't become brittle after a season. It aged alongside the soldier, and aging was expected. The Army issued repair kits because repair was part of use. Gear wasn't disposable, it was personal. You can recreate this system easily. Carry a small tin of beeswax or canvas wax. Keep a heavy needle and strong thread in your kit. When a weak spot appears, heat the wax gently, work it into the fibers, and stitch the tear closed. Once the wax cools, the patch becomes part of the fabric's waterproofing. Over time, your tarp becomes customized to your environment, reinforced where it matters, softened where it folds. Darkened by smoke and weather. This isn't a flaw, it's an advantage. Modern outdoor marketing rarely talks about longevity because longevity doesn't sell new products. But survival isn't about constant upgrades, it's about continuity. The shelter half represents an older logic. Build something strong, expect it to suffer, and give it the ability to recover. That logic applies beyond fabric. It's the same reason old hand tools still work. Why cast iron cookware lasts generations. Why timber frame buildings still stand centuries later. Durability paired with repairability always outlasts convenience. Now, canvas is not perfect. It's heavier. It absorbs water. It takes longer to dry. It's not ideal for fast packing, through hiking, or ultralight travel. Soldiers knew this. That's why shelter halves were often shared between two people. Weight was distributed. The key lesson is not, canvas is better. The lesson is, use the right material at the right time. If you're moving fast and light, modern synthetics make sense. If you're establishing a base, building a semi-permanent shelter, or preparing for long-term resilience, canvas becomes invaluable. Many experienced outdoorsmen now use hybrid systems, a lightweight synthetic tarp for travel, a small waxed canvas sheet for ground contact, fire use, and high-wear areas. Together, they outperform either material alone. This modular thinking mirrors wartime practice. Soldiers didn't rely on a single solution. They layered systems. Redundancy wasn't inefficiency, it was survival. There's another overlooked advantage to canvas that modern gear rarely offers: silence. Synthetic tarps crackle in wind. They amplify movement. Canvas absorbs sound. In a military context, that mattered. In a survival context, it still does. Canvas also regulates temperature differently. It blocks wind while allowing moisture to escape. This reduces internal condensation, a constant problem with modern non-breathable materials. These details don't show up on packaging labels, but they show up in real use. The deeper truth behind the World War II shelter half is this: it was designed for uncertainty. No guarantee of resupply, no controlled environment, no expectation of comfort. Only the assumption that things would go wrong and that the user would adapt. Modern survival culture often prepares for scenarios while forgetting endurance. Gear is tested for performance, not lifespan, for convenience, not continuity. The shelter half reminds us that survival isn't a weekend trip. It's an ongoing relationship between people, tools, and environment. The soldiers who carried these canvas sheets across Europe, North Africa, and the Pacific weren't thinking about brands or ratings. They wanted something that worked in rain, snow, heat, and mud, something that could be fixed when damaged, something that didn't fail catastrophically, and they got it. That's why these fabrics are still in use nearly a century later. Not because they're old, but because they're honest. In the end, the lesson of World War II's shelter cloth isn't romantic nostalgia. It's a practical reminder that older technologies often solved problems with a depth modern manufacturers no longer prioritize. They assumed hardship, they assumed wear, and they designed accordingly. If you're serious about long-term survival, resilience, or off-grid living, study the tools built by people who had no margin for failure, because they already solved many of the problems we're rediscovering today.